Hello everyone, today I can present the Ligeti and his piano works and his biographical life. Let's talk about his life at first sight. Ligeti is regarded as one of the most important avant-garde composers. In the second half of 20th century, also one of the most innovative and influential figures in his time. We can divide his life into three periods. The first period is in Hungary. He was born into a Jewish family. His paternal grandfather had been a musician, a violinist, Leopold Orr. Soon after his birth, his family moved to the Cluj, where it was annexed by Hungary in 1940. During this period, he got his music education. He studied with Ferenc Farkas at Conservatory from 1941 to 3. During the summers, he takes private courses with Cardosa in Budapest. In 1944, he was called up into the Labor Corps, and after World War II, he was able to back his study at the Academy of Music in Budapest, where his teachers included Farkas again and Sador Verez and Pajavadi. He graduated in 1949. The next year, he returned as a teacher of harmony and counterpoint. Because of government restraints, the musicians' communication in Hungary with Western music became increasingly difficult. During this period, his music is mainly influenced by modern Hungarian composer Bartók, with a folk music style. At this point, he had already begun to make mark as a composer. The second period is from December 1956 due to the Hungarian events or Hungarian Revolution. He escaped from the Hungary to Vienna, and not long after arriving in Vienna, he went to Cologne, Germany, the center of the avant-garde music at that time, and met several brilliant composers of his time, like Karl-Heinz Stockhausen and Gottfried Mitchell Koenig. These two people were the electronic music master at that time. So under these two composers' influence, he started to work on or to compose some electronic music. But after about 3 years work with them, he failed out with Cologne School of Electronic Music because there was much fractional infighting. They are fighting about the number one, so the Ligeti wasn't interested in that. And his final period, in his final periods, he became a professor of composition at Hamburg University of Music and Theater, eventually retiring in 1989. And in this period, he created his many piano work, the three books of piano etudes, which is very popular in the modern piano's concert repertoires. And eventually, he died in Vienna on 12th June 2006 at age of 83. His many piano works, including two capriccios uh, in 1947, and Invention 1948, and Music Riccata, three pieces, existing of three pieces from 1951 to 53, and three Bagatelle 1961, and the most important thing pieces, the three books of 18 piano etudes dated from the 1918 2005 to 2001. Okay, let's go to his music directly right now. And I want to introduce you his first piece is Musica Recitata. It's a very interesting piece because it's a sequence of the 11 piano pieces. And the interesting is that he used only two pitch classes in his first piece, and the three pitches in his second and four pitches in his third, and so on. So let's listen to his first piece in this sequence. From score, you can see just one movement in many part is the A. So many and the rhythm changing hammer and articulation, dynamic. Is D only appears in the part. Okay, so the next one only got two pages. So the same with before, the in the middle, not in the end. Just E, F, and for my favorite is the third one. It's kind of very vividly. So just basically the whole picture of the piece is very interesting because of the time I can't show you all the music. If you guys are interested about the music, you can just find it. You can find it in YouTube with a score like this. And the next one I want to introduce you is his attitude. Of course, his attitude is most important piano work of his composition. And need to say that the legato was interested in making symmetry asymmetrical. And in here, in this piece, he uses a technique of having keys held down suddenly so that gaps will appear in a arpeggio or mode that run across them. Let's take a look at his Etude, Book 1, number 3. And in the introduction part, he has already introduced us about all the marks he made. Like this mark is depressed key segment in hold, and this one is depressed the key sounding the note and hold. And the former two together made a new one as depressed key sounding the notes and hold. The sounding note is drawn on the silent note. And the normal silent note had sounding notes, but small note had is a note doesn't sound since the same key has already depressed as another hand. And it's interesting. So let's get to the music. Okay, you can say this little small no head. So this all the silent key. You can give you a kind of asymmetrical feeling that have some gaps across these phrases. Okay, because time I can't show you all, and I really recommend all to his attitude. It's really brilliant work. Also, Ligeti has another, a lot of interesting, like pieces like he composed for 100 metronome is insane, right? So also, he a lot of movies use his music as background music, like the most famous one is 2000: A Space Odyssey, and also a scary movie, The Shining. And more recently, famous movie is Godzilla and The Killing of a Sacred Deer. So he got a lot of reputation through all this stuff. So this is basically my presentation on Ligeti.